Hi, and welcome to Ladies of Another View on Back. I'm Patty, and I have next to me Jan and Kendi. Andrea. I was just thinking how I never forget people's names. I never mix things. You know what? That should endear you to me because I don't get my kids' names correct. So you're one of the family.
Well, and you're
Andrea.
called Mary.
I did it to Patty last week.
Yeah, there you
I called
go.
you Mary last week.
So
So
we're
we're
even
even now.
back. I get called Mary a lot. Now I have a daughter named Mary, and then I have a co-lead host named Mary, who's enjoying Florida. She sent us a video of dolphins today.
Oh, I know, lucky lady. It looks so beautiful where she's at.
But you're going to Florida pretty soon, right? And you just came from Florida, and I was in Florida, so I don't know. We're kind of like a little travel log for Florida here.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you pack lots of sunscreen.
Oh, girl, I'm going to come back red.
Not tanned.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well, you don't need to hear about our antics in Florida. That's
No.
boring. We have an exciting show today. I feel like the theme of today's show is rise up, speak out, parents and churchgoers, that we don't have to be told. We don't have to sit back and let people tell us what to do when it's against our constitutional rights. So that's the theme of today's show. Coming up later, we're going to have Scott Mineo, and what an inspiration he is. He has started up a parents group in Virginia to fight against critical race theory in the schools, and we're going to learn more about that and why it's a very important topic. We need to find out what's going on in Bismarck. I don't know.
And I'm guessing that a lot of people don't even know what critical race theory is, and so I think it's going to be super interesting. And I just want to hold this up. This is the theme. Not today, Satan. Like, we're so over what's going on in the world. So we're going to take a stand. Yes.
We are, and you're going to join us because you're watching.
Yes.
And so we're not going alone. We're taking you with us. We're going to start. This is a good place to start then. We're going to talk about what's going on with churches in this country and also in Canada. On Friday, the Supreme Court they made a decision 5-4, so it was a close decision, in California that you could meet in home churches. You could have Bible studies or little prayer groups because they were saying you couldn't do that. You could get arrested for doing that before. And the Supreme Court was a little impatient, the majority decision, because this is the 9th decision they've made with the California Appeals Court, the federal court there, that has been discriminating against religion, where they've said you can go get your hair done, you can go to spas, you can go to gyms, you can go to all these places, but not churches.
I just want to say, I think it's so crazy and unbelievable how much control people have given to the government, where they say they're allowing them to dictate what they can do in their own homes. I mean, this is beyond crazy. And then we're getting into the whole religious aspect, and we're going to touch on that.
We are. That's why this is our show. Our theme for today is Rise Up. And I said it's the 9th time. It's actually the 9th District Court, and it's the 5th time, though, that the justices are getting impatient because they keep making these decisions not to discriminate against churches, and then the government keeps telling them, oh, you can't meet, you can't open your churches, or you can only have this many people.
They keep trying to get creative and come up with a new rule.
Yeah, let's
No.
block it
Just
this
stop.
way. And they keep saying, no, you're not going
I
to do
think
that.
it's silly that I think it's silly that they even have to make a decision. It's right
Isn't
there at the top of the Constitution. Why are we even doing this?
Exactly. Well, let's look. I want to say for entertainment purposes, this is very entertaining, but it's also like what an inspiration this guy is. Let's take a look. Well, first we're going to look at a wall going up around a church in Canada.
Yeah, hi, Aaron and Vinesh. I'm here outside Grace Life Church. AHS is confirming that it has blocked access to the church by putting fencing around. RCMP are also on scene here, providing support to AHS workers. Now that we know that there are supporters on scene here from Grace Life Church. More and more cars are showing up, parking along the strip. Grace Life Church and parishioners have defied health orders for months now by not wearing masks, not distancing. Our global news cameras have seen people hugging outside of the church. We also know that Pastor James Coates of Grace Life Church has spent time behind bars as well recently. So again, we'll be following this story throughout the day.
Oh my gosh, they were hugging.
That is so laughable.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Did you see how big that fence was? That is a big fence.
Well, and what a complete waste of money. I mean, seriously,
To stop
taxpayer
people
dollars so they can't go worship at church.
Right.
I'm so proud of those people, actually, that they were willing to take a stand, that they were doing what they felt was right to worship God. Good job. Like, we need more of those type of people.
Absolutely.
And this is somebody else we need more of. Watch this next video. You're going to love this pastor if you haven't already seen it.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Okay. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property. Immediately out. You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communist, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here.
That guy was fired up. They had guns. He had what? Fired up by the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
And what he knew was right.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. So, I mean, he was not pushing against the police. It was the health department. And they obviously were probably wanting to do something because he was holding services. And so I want to point that out, that wasn't.
But they did come with the police.
They did,
And
but
he
the
said-
police didn't do anything to enforce.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, anyway, I just kind of want to point that out because it's not a video against the police. It was more the health department and taking a stand against them wanting to put these restrictions on businesses and churches.
Right. It wasn't against the police. It's against these governments that are being tyrannical and taking away people's rights to worship.
They were smart to leave when they did. I am glad they backed down those stairs, and I am glad that they retreated. That's exactly what they should have done. They shouldn't have been there in the first place, but leaving was a good idea.
And like I said, you know, he had no weapons. You see the police with guns. Not that they were going to draw a gun in that case, but you never know sometimes. But he just was so confident and so determined, and he wasn't going to back down. They knew they better be the ones to leave. Can you imagine if the world was full of people like that?
We would not have this problem today.
We wouldn't get pushed around so much, yeah.
You know, when COVID started, you know, a lot of churches shut down. And I was right there too, you know, feeling nervous about what was happening. But as time went on, I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I really was searching for any church that was willing to take a stand and to say, we're still going to worship. And those are the type of churches that I was willing to support. It was sad to see so many that kind of went along with what the government was asking them to do and prohibited people from coming and worshiping God.
Right, yeah, I appreciated our church. We've never had to wear masks, but they've been respectful. They came up with another mass, at least at our parish, where just for people that wanted to wear masks. So they didn't want anyone to feel like they couldn't come to church. But
Awesome.
Okay, we're going to move on to the school board, Bismarck School Board, in the next segment. So we'll be right back after this with Ladies of Another View on Back.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your number one choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota. Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
You know, I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination? Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And last night, apparently, it was a lively school board meeting.
I'm sad I missed it. I used to go to those all the time, so I'm sad.
Quite a few parents showed up to talk about their children wearing masks because a lot of the kids are struggling with it. And I'm going to show you a couple of clips here, but I selected two parents who I thought expressed themselves very well. Amanda Davis offered testimony, and Nancy Jackson then is the second person in the clip, and she was representing a group of parents because parents are meeting and talking, and their kids are having a hard time with this, and who can blame them? Can you imagine when you went to school if you had to wear a mask all day? It wouldn't be easy. So let's just take a look at what they've been saying.
My youngest, just last week, gets told in the hallway by another teacher, "You need to be a better mask wearer." Now, I'm sorry, but I do not send my kids to school to learn how to wear a mask. It's for educational purposes only, right? That's why we send our kids to school. Second of all, this teacher did not have a mask on. My youngest tells me, "Mom, it's not fair. The teachers aren't wearing masks. Why do I?" She's in kindergarten. Even she gets it. So, my oldest, like I said, is in 6th grade. She's had many altercations with teachers of a mask slipping below the nose. You guys have adjusted yours, as we all do if we wear them, right? They fall. They don't fit appropriately. So by getting completely reprimanded every time, fix your mask, fix your mask, fix your mask, shouldn't there be another alternative to this of saying it's an option? Since that teacher sitting behind her desk with no mask and continuing to tell the students, hey, you should probably wear a mask. You should probably fix your mask.
Masks should not be worn by children under the age of 2 or anyone who has trouble breathing, is unconscious, incapacitated, or otherwise unable to remove their masks. Another bullet point under the same heading, which is consequently the reason why we are really here, says administrators and/or teachers should consult with parents, caregivers, or guardians about strategies to protect these students and those around them. The reason why I stated this is the main reason we're here is because I know for certain that parents have contacted you that have children that are having breathing issues, have passed out, or have had a panic attack so badly their child can't breathe, and that there are 0 exceptions to wearing masks. Students have been bullied and harassed by teachers and other staff when masks aren't being worn correctly and told they are going to kill someone's grandparents or their principal if they don't wear their mask correctly. Words like, "What makes you think you're so special that you don't need to wear your mask correctly," have been uttered to children. Children have been written up, sent to ISS, and told that distance learning is the only alternative to not wearing a mask. The problem with all of this is that there is no policy to back this up. If there is, I would like to be pointed in the direction of where that policy is that has consequences for not wearing a mask. The school district's motto is empowering every learner to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, they are not thriving. We have students that are 3 months behind according to their teachers, and students that are struggling in school because they can't see facial cues from their teachers, and the teachers can't see facial cues from their students.
What do you think?
I don't know how prepared you are for unpopular opinions, but I think that it's downright abusive. This is on the list of reasons why I homeschool. The teachers, if they have problems with it, they can file for workers' comp if they have any severe side effects or whatever from wearing masks all the time. The kids have no recourse. They're prisoners in a system, and I can't believe that parents let this happen to their kids. Stop sending them. That's what I think.
I totally agree with you. Prisoners in a system. So I have 5 kids. My youngest is the only one that is in the BPS school system. And like I said, I attended school board meetings for months, raising a voice, and it's so sad to me that parents are still having to go, and I'm grateful for them, those that are still putting forward that message of enough is enough in regards to the mask. I don't know that the school board is ever going to really listen to the parents. I've attended those meetings, and I in fact had a conversation with the superintendent, Hornbacher, and he was so hell-bent on his own ideas that he really wasn't willing to listen to what the concerned parents were bringing forward. And obviously, he still is not listening, neither is the school board.
Vote them out, all of them.
I totally agree. But the challenge is there's a lot of people who do believe that the mask should be enforced. I don't. Like I said with my youngest daughter, she is one that she walks the halls. There's a small group of kids who refuse to put the mask on at school. She's one of them, and I am so proud of her for being willing to be one who will be different than the crowd. So I don't have an answer to this other than we continue to raise our voice. If we can, we homeschool, and hopefully someday they'll listen.
Right. It's just a lot of the parents, you can watch the clip on public access TV, and some of the parents said, we have tried to communicate, we don't get answers back. One of the parents that I represent a whole group of parents that didn't all come down, but this is how we feel. The children aren't thriving. Didn't that break your heart?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When she said, our children are not thriving, they're behind. Well, of course they're behind. I can't imagine, having raised 10 children, I can't imagine little ones having to wear masks all day. It has to be a real burden and not easy. And Superintendent Jason Hornbacher said, well, we're going to study this. We want the mask policy to stay in place until all our staff has had the opportunity to get vaccinations. Just for the record, I know people that have gotten the vaccination, some who aren't even originally from Bismarck. They're living somewhere else, and they came here and they went and got the vaccination. So if that's what we're waiting on, why hasn't that happened yet? I don't think it is. I think they're just stalling, but I don't know. I don't know everything in the world.
It is a stall. I mean, he continues to kick the can further down the road. There's always an excuse for why they're going to continue to enforce the mask. I'm sorry. I'm disgusted by it because it's the same message. Well, we're going to wait for the studies. I don't know what more studies they're wanting to have done. I mean, there are studies that show that the mask on children is not going to benefit them. It hinders them. And it makes me so sad, especially for the little kids and what they're being taught these days. It's wrong.
And this is a population that isn't getting sick.
No.
There's almost no. There's like a couple rare situations of really high-risk kids with autoimmune disease or something high risk, underlying condition, but these kids are not getting sick. And then to have teachers telling them how selfish they are and they're risking killing their grandmother or their principal. And I wouldn't want to even be a teacher. God bless teachers. I don't want to just seem like we don't care. But let's be reasonable. And this is tough on kids. And I wouldn't want to have to be in charge of a classroom all day long, day after day, week after week, month after month. Fix your mask, pull up your mask. Because I'm sorry, I've even seen Joe Biden, picking up his mask, and we know from the guests we had on from OSHA that if you touch your mask, it's contaminated and it's not doing any good. It's doing more harm than good. So, like, there's no science behind what everybody's doing.
I'm glad you brought up Hornbacher's comment, though, about when everyone has the opportunity to get a vaccination. They've got them available. There's plenty out there. So if you really want to, everyone has had the opportunity to go out and get one. So I feel like maybe he's borrowing talking points from some other national organization because that just doesn't fit what's actually happening here in North Dakota. I wonder what might be feeding him that information.
Yeah,
I wonder.
I don't know.
That's what I thought. It's just a talking point. It's not based on reality. But we're going to stop right there. We've got a parent coming up, Scott Mineo from Virginia, who has started Parents Against Critical Race Theory. And my goodness, he's a fireball and a ferocious contender against the opponents here. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
But how will we?
The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and I am so excited to be bringing in Scott Mineo from Virginia. He's the founder of Parents Against Critical Race Theory, PACT. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you very much for having me, and I love the name of the show.
Aw. Oh, well, thank you. And we're the Scott fan club, I told you right before we went on. I am so impressed with what you're doing. You are fighting the system, and you are doing it in an effective way. First of all, you're against the critical race theory that's being pushed on students in public schools. Can you tell us what that is?
Sure. So basically, the high-level summary of what critical race theory is the idea that everything and anything in the country, our country, is built around white supremacy and racism. So therefore, if there is nothing that is off limits to racism, and in fact, I looked at an article today that said if you are not for providing free education and forgiving student loans, then you're truly not an anti-racist. So it just keeps moving. There is no end goal. It's destructive. It's a radical theory that really pits one race against another. I mean, that's kind of a high level way to look at it.
And you have 2 children in school, right?
Yes, ma'am. A senior and a sophomore.
Okay, I'm going to show a video in a little bit about what somebody must have taken out their cell phone and saw critical race theory education in action. But tell me, how did this get on your radar screen and how you saw it as a problem?
So in 2019, Loudoun County had an equity assessment done by a paid consultant, and that report was provided to the public in June of 2019. I read through it, and I just shook my head, and nothing really started happening until lockdown happened, which was around March 11th or 12th of last year. At that point, I started noticing a change in the tone of emails coming out from the administration, and more words like inclusive and equity and diversity. And, those are really just dog whistles and soft sounding undertones of what they're really doing. And then as the school year progressed and came to an end, they were providing more information on what to expect in the coming school year, which is what we're in now. And so I just began to do some research on the county's website, and it's really like pulling a thread on a sweater. You find one thing and it kind of leads to something else, which leads to something else, and before you know it, you've got sort of a where's Waldo activity going on. I decided to address the school board on September the 8th, and that was a waste of time. They don't pay attention. They don't care. You're just getting up there to talk to the camera, to the people at home, to try to get your message out. I left frustrated that night and decided I'm going to create a website and an organization and just try to get the message out there, because nobody was really understanding or had even heard of critical race theory at that point. And this was only, maybe 10 months ago. And so while everybody was focused on trying to get our kids back in school, I knew what my kids were doing. I was focused on digging and trying to uncover as much information as I could about what was going on within the county.
Okay, I want to talk about when a student is sitting at his desk and what's going on with critical race theory, but let's take a look at this video so we can see how this plays out in the classroom.
I don't believe that you look at this as just 2 people. I don't think
truly
you can
is
look
just
at
2
this as
people,
just
though,
2
is it
people.
not?
Yeah, but I think you're being intentionally coy about what this is a picture of.
What would I be being coy about? It's 2 people standing back to back in a picture.
Yeah, and that's all you see is 2 people.
I'm confused on what you would like me to speak on in that sense.
I don't think you are. I don't know why you do this. I'm not trying to call you out, but you come out off of mute.
So he's harassing this student. Part of the video that wasn't included is, I really admired this student. He said, wait a minute, are you trying to get me to say this is a black and a white person? He said, yes. He goes, but I thought we're not supposed to see color. I thought we're supposed to be united and not divisive. And the instructor's like, no, we have to see this, and if you don't see it, you're not being honest, you're not admitting. So it's like they're trying to dig up racism, right?
100%. I mean, this kid played that teacher like a fiddle. He knew exactly what he was doing, and it was a brilliant strategic move. The other thing that's really interesting about this video is, the term indoctrination is used an awful lot, and sometimes it kind of gets washed over because it's a word that's used, and okay, it's kind of like Bigfoot. You hear of it, but you don't really see it. This is indoctrination in process, which is a rare thing to see. And as I said, the kid did an amazing job. But I think the other thing that's interesting to highlight here that this brilliant English teacher left out is the two individuals that he was referring to, the black and the white girl, they're actually twin sisters.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. And I know I've heard of that. I've seen that where you have biracial, multi mixed race families and couples, and then one comes out lighter skin and the other one comes out darker skin. That is very interesting. And it seems now when you started this website, not everybody looked on it very kindly, did they?
No, and that's the one, I think the biggest hurdle for people is the name calling, white supremacist, racist, you've got white privilege. And then there's cancel culture, which came a little bit later for me. And really, when you look, we were talking earlier, when you look at things like grass is racist, and if you don't believe in relieving student debt, you're a racist, then nothing is racist. And as soon as you can accept the premise that these people are going to try to, that's their weapon and that's their shield, is race. And as soon as you take that away from them, and just accept that that's what's going to be said to you, the sooner you can get into the fight, because it really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a thing to me. I know what I am. They don't know my favorite ice cream. So how do they know where I stand from a race perspective? I know where I stand.
But unless you say you are racist in some way, then that proves that you're a racist, right? Because you're not recognizing it.
There is no winning.
There is no winning. Yeah.
It's a gotcha game.
I read that you had that some of the people that are on your website, or I think liking your Facebook page maybe, but there were people using pseudonyms, and they were actually some of the school board members and politicians that are trying to out and shame the people that are against critical race theory. So they're using humiliation and public pressure to make you back off, right?
Yeah, and in full disclosure, what I was using an alias on Facebook, and the reason why is because my wife is also a teacher in this county, and my kids are in this county as well. So that kind of blew up, and everybody knows who I am right now, and that's fine. But that didn't work. I mean, as soon as they came out with their threats, they wanted to have me added to the Southern Poverty Law Center group of white hate groups. I think they're still trying to work on that. My son and I talked, and so we decided to buy another website. So we're working on a second website to keep pushing information on critical race theory, or anti-critical race theory.
And we'll talk about in the next segment, I want to talk about how GoFundMe kicked you off. You had to find another fundraising, and it's just to help you with any kind of legal help that you need for doing this. And that you're not a racist, but if you're against critical race theory, then you're a racist, right?
100%.
It's not fair. It's like, you do it our way or we're going to call you a racist, and that's the end of you.
And that's bullying.
Yes. That's bullying. We're going to come back and talk about it more with Ladies of Another View on Back.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View with Beck. And we are joined once again with Scott Mineo, who's the founder of Parents Against Critical Race Theory. He's in Loudoun County, Virginia, about 30 miles outside of Washington, D.C., right?
Correct.
And he's shaking things up, saying this stuff's a little extreme. It's actually racist in itself, and you are fighting against it being in the public schools. Is there any chance you're going to be able to get it out?
It's a multifaceted or multi-phased approach, right? Because you've got politics involved in here, you've got educational materials, you've got citizens of the county. So there's different ways to attack it. And our school board is not up for re-election until 2023. So I think one of the best things to do is to expose and out and shame everybody that is involved. Shame them with their own information and material. I don't mean just kind of going off on your own and calling them names, but find the resources and information. And when they say something that's factually inaccurate, or when they blatantly lie, call them out by name, send it out, let everybody know, and then have them prove that what I'm saying is false. 90% of the material that I use to counter their narrative comes directly from the school system.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, actually, here's one that they're not too happy about. There's something called a Student Equity Ambassador Club. Okay, so I put out a post on the 27th of October about this, and essentially what it is a Black student-only club, so that they can commiserate over all their racial experiences and things like that. The very next day, a reporter reached out to the chief information officer about this program, and they denied it. They denied it existed. Now, I posted their documentation that shows it existed. A week later, my son says, "Hey, Dad, they're trying to get this student equity ambassador stuff going in our school." So I reached out to what is known as an equity advisor, and I said, "Hey, I've got a couple of kids that might be interested in joining." And we went back and forth a couple of times, and finally she said, "Well, they can kind of sit on the outside, but really it's reserved for the message and the voices are reserved for people of color." So I've got documentation I presented. I have a chief information officer denying the program existed, and then I have an email from an equity advisor saying, "Yeah, they can participate from afar."
Wow.
Instead of bringing everybody together, and I think share. I have a mixed race family. I have two boys from Kenya, and I grew up around the Detroit area, so we were, you know, not just we had all kinds of ethnic backgrounds there. But I think critical race theory, the more I hear about it, the more disturbing I find it. And your wife is a teacher, and she hasn't come out publicly, but you have, and that got her in trouble, right?
Somewhat.
Well,
right.
got her
so
on some
when
lists.
Yeah, it got her on her list, and she, carries the same last name. So, but when we started this, it was a family discussion because we knew the end result could come at some time, which is people are going to come after me. They're going to, try to cancel me and us, and But we as a family decided this is the right thing to do, but at the same time, we also decided that did not want my wife involved in any aspect of this whatsoever. Because when things come to a head, I want her to have a clean conscience and say, no, I didn't provide any information to my husband. I don't talk about exactly what's going on in the school systems. I want it to be an above board admission. If it comes to that, she has not helped me one iota with this. And that was by design.
Your website is so full of information and articles. How can people find it? It has a lot of letters in it. Like if you just go to PACT, because I'm not sure of, well, tell us what your website is.
It's stoplcpscrt.com.
I'm going to put that up on Ladies of Another View Facebook page. I already did this morning, and I'll do it again. And if you even put PACT is Fighting Critical Race Theory, and I think people will find your website. And this is where you were kicked off of GoFundMe, right?
I was, yes.
And so this is your fundraising. Where do people have to go if they want to support you?
Oh, quite simply, it's givesendgo.com/stopcrt.
Okay, so givesendgo.com and then stop CRT. And they'll find you because why did you get kicked off of GoFundMe? What'd you do?
It's the crime of being against. That's it. I'm a troublemaker and I'm against critical race theory. That they got me.
And it's probably because you're racist, I'm guessing. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. That's come up a few times.
I have a question for you. I'm super curious to know if you had been involved in any issues prior to this. And if you hadn't, what was it about this issue that you were like, okay, this has gone too far. I'm going to take a stand. I'm not going to let this go on.
No, I mean, I've always followed politics, but I saw this coming a mile away because when you start seeing all these, very, these dog whistles like equity and diversity everywhere you turn, and that's not what it's about. And, we see people as what they are. There's good people and bad people in every walk of life, every color of skin. It doesn't make a difference. And the problem I have is this is going to sound kind of weird, but there's always going to be a third grade student and a second grade student. And those kids getting exposed to this information, it's a breeding ground for hatred. Whether it's against white people or black people or Asian people, it's a breeding ground of hatred. And there's no room for it because they're creating narratives at a very young age that paint white people as oppressors. And by de facto, you're part of a white supremacy cabal that is running this country. And how is it, you grow up and as a second or third grader, year after year, hearing this, either you're going to believe it, and therefore you're going to have a 200-pound bag of white guilt you're going to lug around your entire life. You're going to grow up as a racist because that's what they're telling you are, or the lucky ones will be able to see through all the mudslinging that they're doing and be able to accept people at face value like we're trying to do today.
Right, and I think if you whenever I've seen a group of little kids in different nationalities, not just black and white, but Latino and, Asian, it seems like everybody gets along just fine. And, we don't have to put ideas in their head, and it just seems like we've gotten more divisive. I want to watch this video. I found it on your website, a little clip from Charles Barkley and what he has to say.
I truly believe in my heart most white people and black people are awesome people, but we're so stupid following our politicians, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. And their only job is, hey, let's make these people not like each other. We don't live in their neighborhoods. We all got money. Let's make the whites and blacks not like each other. Let's make rich people and poor people not like each other. Let's scramble the middle class. I truly believe that in my heart.
I love Charles Barkley.
Yes.
So, we don't have much time, and I'm just curious to hear, Scott, if you could touch on what would you give counsel to with parents in regards to if they're seeing things in the school system, what should they do? How are they going to make a difference in bringing about change? We've got 1 minute.
Okay, so there's a couple approaches you can take. You can funnel information to an organization like myself. I know there's not other chapters, but I'm working with other people to try to give them encouragement on how to get some things started until I can branch out a little bit further, so that they can stay behind the scenes. You want to be able to find at least a few bold people in the community that are willing to throw caution to the wind and step up on behalf of everybody else, because it's a sensitive topic and not everybody is up for being a target. Research. It's not fun, but it has to be done. You have to comb through your school system's website. As soon as you start seeing words like equity and diversity, keep digging, keep digging. Understand your school board members. Keep digging, keep it digging, and before you know it, you'll have a lot more information than you ever really would hope.
Scott, thank you for coming on today. You're a rock star. We really admire you sticking your neck out, starting this organization, and we'll be in touch and hear how things go. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having fleece stack and Marty Krofft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are already on the lighter side, our last segment. And I have a story that really touched me. It's out of Arkansas, high school West Fork, and there was a freshman who was blind, but he wanted to run cross country. But he needed somebody to be kind of a guide person to hold onto a rope and guide him. So this young fourth grader, Rebel Hayes, how's that for a name?
Oh, I love it.
Rebel Hayes became his guide. Let's watch.
Freshman Paul Scott happens to be blind, but that isn't stopping him from running cross country, especially with 11-year-old Rebel Hayes running by his side.
It's really inspiring. It's great. He have encouraged me to run faster.
Hayes' mom says her son loves to run and help others.
Guide runner competed all. 5 News reporter Bailey Devane has the story.
West Fork freshman Paul Scott happens to be blind, but that isn't stopping him from running cross country, especially with 11-year-old Rebel Hayes running by his side.
It's really inspiring. It's great. He have encouraged me to run faster.
Hayes' mom says her son loves to run and help others. So when the West Fork High School was looking for volunteers for guide runners, he jumped on the opportunity. Now Hayes is only in the 4th grade, but he says he practices daily to keep up with the older kids.
If I don't run this distance, I'm cheating on Paul. I can't cheat on Paul, so I have to run this distance or this time no matter what.
Using the rope, Hayes helps Scott navigate the courses. At the beginning of the season, the duo were running 2-mile races, but since have moved up to running 5Ks.
He directs me whether this is a ditch or this hills.
This is Scott's last year to run with the West Fork cross country team, so Hayes says he wants to help him finish the year strong by running a 5K in 20 minutes or less.
Just to be honest, it's pretty hard, and I just love doing it because, again, I just want to do it for Paul, and I have to do it for Paul.
Oh,
isn't that beautiful? And I want to let you know that I did a little research, and they did break the 20-minute mark.
Oh, that's
They
super
did it.
cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
They accomplished their goal.
You know, you think about, number one, not being able to see the course, trusting your guide, and then being able to run that distance at that pace. That's amazing. I think this is the perfect way to close this whole show. And we were talking about it in the break, that kids are amazing. And if we teach them to not judge others, but to be welcoming and embracing of all, much good can come into the world because of that. So just, that was beautiful.
We had said, you know, that student was blind, and we should all be blind to racial differences. And I know that's not the way the world is really, but I think most people are good-hearted. And what a beautiful story, that little 4th grader.
Hard-working little guy.
Yeah. Running
Didn't want to
cross
let him
country
down.
Yeah.
with a high schooler.
Yeah. It makes me think, not to toot a horn here, but I mean, I have my 5 kids, and I've seen them do similar things. You know, kids have that inner goodness inside of them. I believe most, you know, kids come to the world, they're good unless they learn otherwise. And I have seen my own kids and other kids do remarkable things to help others, and even in this community. I mean, I am amazed at how well the youth in this community reach out and really work to include people who are different than them. So I don't know if others have noticed that, but I definitely have.
And just that when you're doing something for others, you make yourself better. And I thought, this kid is going places because he's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that touch you when he said, I need to do this for Paul?
Oh, yeah. It was just adorable and sweet. You know, he probably has a whole career in running ahead of him. You can be a pace runner. You can get paid to do that. So it doesn't have to end here. You could keep doing it for a very long time.
And he just did it. You know, he didn't expect all this glory. He didn't expect to be on the news program. He just saw that a student needed a guide. And he thought, well, I like to run. I'll do it.
Yeah. And kind of thinking about the theme of this show and thinking about our last segment, you know, our voices can make a difference. And it's so important for us to be aware of what's happening around us, and not just in the school system, but with our local government. And just be aware and raise your voice when you see things that are not right, because together we can make a difference and we can help guide each other through this journey that we're on. I think so many of us can see that things are not right, and we can really help each other along this journey that we're on, and we need to do more to try to get us back to where we used to be, because I am not okay with this new normal at all.
If somebody needs a pace runner to go shopping, I'm going.
Don't you feel
Love
like I didn't necessarily plan it? It turned into a theme of like speaking up, and just the lighter side kind of brought it all together. That we had a young boy, just innocent and good-hearted, guiding the runner, and that's kind of why I put some of the people on today. I thought they can be our guides, they can be our examples, because let's face it, it is scary sometimes, like sticking your neck out and speaking out, because especially if you feel like you're in the minority, but we can come together, we can speak out and do the things that show up at the school board meetings and
be bold.
Just follow our hearts. Yep, be bold.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we can make a difference.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Tomorrow we're going to be my son Luke Armstrong, who works in Guatemala for the poor, will be joining us. So we'll have fun talking to him, and we'll tell some family stories. But anyways, you might want to join Joel Heitkamp coming up next on Down the Road, and we'll see you tomorrow with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Good night.
Bye.